Hello everyone, and welcome to my solo budget build fight against Arch-Tempered Teostra. This is a video for players who are extremely new to the game. You really don't have much, but you do want to fight Arch-Tempered Teostra. I've got everything you need right here in this video. You're going to learn everything you need. So I barely have any items with me. My first assumption is that you don't have any good items, so I'm only using items that I picked up in the fight. I also have 2 Mega Barrel Bombs with me. The Mega Barrel Bombs, you can buy 2 large barrel bombs and then craft a Mega Barrel Bomb if you have 2 Devil's Blight mushrooms, okay? Next thing, I assume you don't have any gear, so you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner, all I have is the Vitality Mantle and the Health Booster. The third thing I assume is you don't have any Gamma Armor yet, and you don't have any good Kolv Taroth weapons, so we're using one of the best hammers in the game. This is the Diablo Shatter, and what I have here, a budget build, is a build where I try to put together the strongest build I can using very limited equipment. So for example, I don't allow myself to use Maximum Might, I don't allow myself to use Tenderizer, Crit Boost. The only thing I have in this build are small decorations that you should be able to unlock very easily, and they're mostly just defensive. Alright, and we'll talk about the build when we get to the end, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and try to mount him. You'll notice in this stage there are ledges, and I'm using right trigger to use these aerial attacks. You roll off the ledge, you push right trigger and the joystick in the direction that you want to go, and this is going to turn into an aerial attack and allow you to mount him very quickly. When you can mount Arch-Tempered Teostra, you're going to get a knockdown at the end of the mounting game, and then you just go crazy on his head. Be sure you get the Big Bang combo out. Big Bang combo is really simple. It's just, well, on the Xbox is B, 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 right? That's all it is. You also notice I don't have a lot of health and I don't have a lot of stamina. What's up with that? What's going on here is I have the Fortitude skill on the build, and so I haven't eaten a meal at the canteen yet, and this is intentional because my plan is to die, and then after I've died twice, then I'm going to eat a canteen meal. So that's the goal here. He's nice little start there. I got a mount, I got a Big Bang off on his head, and yeah, we're just playing aggressively until he kills us twice, and then we'll start playing a bit more carefully. There I am, I'm abusing that ledge again. There's our first KO knockdown. So when you hit the monster on the head with a blunt weapon, you build up KO status on them, and when you reach the KO threshold, they have an internal health bar for KO damage. When you deplete that health bar, you're going to get a KO on them, and this is like a free knockdown. So we did a knockdown. We got the Big Bang combo out on him. And yeah, it's just going to go like this for a little while. We'll be talking about I'll be narrating the fight the whole time. You'll notice on my Palico, I actually brought the Vigor Wasp spray. Yeah, so Vigor Wasp is terrific for players who don't have a lot of Mega Potions and Max Potions. Vigor Wasp is going to keep you healed throughout the fight, which is why we went with that. Also, you can see I just finished using the Vitality Mantle, and I put down the Health Booster, but he killed me. Teostra is dangerous because he uses a lot of running attacks. You really have to think of him that way. The best way to think of Teostra is that you might die to his dust, you might die to his flamethrower, you might die to his supernova, but you know what you're most likely going to die from? His running attacks. He runs a lot, he likes to run into you, he likes to take nips at you, little bites, he likes to swipe his paw at you. It's really his physical attacks that you have to look out for. Yeah, so that's his dust attack. He uses a lot of dust attacks, but those aren't that bad. That's because you always see them coming, and you usually get an opportunity to just kind of move away from them. As long as you're not aggressively attacking him, you should be fine. There's our second death. We kind of rolled right into his flamethrower there. Now it's time to get really powerful. So again, we hadn't eaten a meal yet because we knew we were going to die twice at the beginning. Now we're going to eat Chef's Choice Platter. Don't eat anything else. Unless you have a max potion on you, don't eat anything else. If you have a max potion and you're willing to spend it, eat that max potion after you pick up maybe Feline Insurance. It's the only other thing I'd worry about. So you can pick up Feline Insurance. This is going to give you an extra life, and then eat a max potion. But in my case, Chef's Choice Platter is maxing my health bar out, and that is the most important thing we can do here. There's the Supernova. All right, we're just out of the range of the Supernova. Very easy. You can see I'm eating those Might Seeds that I picked up. So the Might Seeds give you a damage boost, and yeah, you just eat it and get bonus damage. Oh, you see us trying to avoid his physical attacks. Again, he uses a lot of running and physical attacks, and that's usually what's most dangerous. Actually, let me explain lots of dust here. Let me explain what really gets most new players killed when they've never fought Teostra before, they're still learning how to fight him. Here's what gets them killed. He uses these running attacks over and over again, and then he stuns you. But we have stun resist 3 on our build, so he's not able to stun us, and this is really going to make the fight much more viable, much more possible for us to win. So I'm being kind of a goof here. I should actually stop and heal up, and there is a way for me to heal up. I have those first aid potions. I also have my Palico. There we go. You can see my Palico's trying to heal me right now. Oh, and we got another mount, so we don't even need to worry about the heal. I do have a health regen augmentation on my Diablo's Hammer. You might not have that. Again, the whole fight is designed around the idea that this is strictly for a new player. I don't think I actually needed that health regen augmentation. You can play without it. I would go for it. But it's a very good hammer. The Diablo Shatterer. It's actually a meta hammer. So if you like hammers, and you should, they're a fun weapon, go ahead and give it a health regen augmentation anyways. Is one of the best weapons in the game by far. Alright, so he's knocked down again. This means we're going to get another big bang off on his head. See, I missed his head a little bit, so I'm turning a little bit into it. Very big damage numbers coming out. 220. I don't think that was a crit. There's another ledge. And look, I'm right back to ledge hopping. And we got another knockdown. So this is a damage knockdown. You'll notice that he doesn't have stars over his head this time. When you're playing solo, you have all kinds of advantages. Oh, and there's a KO knockdown. So this time it's a KO knockdown, and you'll see the little yellow stars floating around his head that indicate that. We've also dropped into green sharpness. You don't want to be in green sharpness. You lose a lot of damage in green sharpness. So you do want to try and stay in the blue. We're going to go ahead and resharpen. Yeah, so blunt damage against Teostra is really effective when you hit him on the head. So our target is the head. He takes more blunt damage than any other damage type to his head. Other than that, shot and sever are just okay. Picked up these little mushrooms. I'm assuming you guys don't have many items, so I try to pick up the items as I go, but I forget to. So this is an important part of the fight. Teostra is meant to fight Kushala Daora. You absolutely do not want to mess this up. Whatever you do, do not knock Teostra down when Kushala Daora is in this part of the map, because then they won't have their turf war. You're getting a lot of free damage from that turf war. It's very important that it triggers. So you can just run around if you want to until the turf war triggers, and then he's moving on to this next area. I'm going to knock this boulder on him before he lands, and that's going to give me a knockdown right away. So we're going to go in for the big bang. Here we go. You'll notice I use I think it's triangle on the PlayStation controller. It's Y on the Xbox controller. That's my weapon attack for drawing your weapon, because we used that to go right into the big bang right afterwards. Alright, so our goal now is to drop the other boulder on top of Teostra. We're in the center of the map here, and this is where the two boulders fall. So you definitely don't want to mess this up, because it's just free damage, and it usually does a lot of part break damage, and sometimes it'll knock them over, or it gets them close to being knocked over. All kinds of valuable benefits to having this boulder fall. So I like his positioning. We dropped the boulder. He didn't fall over this time. That's okay though, because he's probably very close to falling over. Nice, we actually got that attack off. So he's very dangerous right now. You can see he's got a fire aura around him, which means if you get close to him, you're going to take tick damage, and he's playing very aggressively. You can see I'm using my charged upswings instead, because I'm trying not to stand. You don't want to use any attacks that are going to take too long near him. You just have to, you got to be really good with the timing when he's running like that. He's just so dangerous. Yeah, and if you stand near him, you're going to take lots of tick damage from that as well. Okay, that's the flamethrower. Actually, when he uses the flamethrower, you get a lot of time. Ooh, he got a physical move off on me. There's the dust. Notice I'm just going to lay on the ground for now, and now I'm standing up. When you're laying on the ground like that, you get a lot of iframes. You're basically invincible. Nothing can hurt you. So yeah, if you're on the ground and he's on top of you using a move, just stay down. You're safer. We're at half health. There's a lot of flowers in this area, and I should probably be using them to my advantage. My gear is also back. Alright, there's the supernova. When he comes back down, he's not very dangerous, so I'm going to charge and get right next to him. And I clearly mis-aimed that. The last part of the swing is where all the damage is, and it missed. Alright, you see that? He came running right at me, and I actually rolled away from it, and I'm below half health. So if I had messed that up, it could have been very dangerous. I don't know if it would have killed me, but it could have been very close. It's moments like that that really define the fight. If you can dodge at the most dangerous times, if you can dodge and keep yourself alive, you're going to be okay. But if you allow him to hit you at those critical times, that's when you end up losing. We'll go ahead and heal ourselves all the way up. Our little cat is KO'd. He's not that dangerous right now. This is after the supernova. You'll notice his aura's like at its lowest level. He basically has no aura. Also, did you know this little stump in the middle of the room? You can actually get a sliding jump attack off on it. You saw me do it right there. It's kind of an odd thing to know about. If you've used hammers a lot, you know that, but it's not that useful, to be honest, especially against Arch-Tempered Teostra. He's just so aggressive. Look, I'm trying to do it. He just moves out of the way so fast. Alright, so you can see his aura's up higher now. He's got like sparkles around his body, whatever you want to call them. Sparks? I suppose sparks is fair. Dust. And now we got to be more careful. So there's the dust explosion. And the fortitude is working so well here. We're really just not taking that much damage. And notice we can't be stunned ourselves. I guarantee you would have been stunned if we didn't have 3 levels of stun resist here. That was a really good dodge there. The move he used, it's kind of like a sniping attack. He aims 1 explosion at you, and it's a high damage explosion. But we wouldn't have died. We have too much health. So we were okay even if we failed to hit that. Even if we failed to hit that dodge button at the right time. Okay, so now's a good time to sharpen and heal up, and we're going to see where he goes next. Alright, so he's going down to the lava pit, and what do I do next? Grabbing this chill shroom. Oh, I didn't even grab it, actually. I guess I just wanted to get to the fight. I'm that way sometimes. I get really focused. So we have the Vitality Mantle on. We're missing almost half health. It's a dangerous place to be, missing half health. Actually, it depends on what you're fighting. Alright, so we let him attack first. Our Palico there is giving us back our health, and we're wearing the Vitality Mantle. We're in a really safe position. You gotta stay away from that dust. He ignites it different ways. Did you notice that time he ignited the dust by jumping? Normally he'll ignite it by just standing there, but that time he actually jumped. There's the paw. He tried to smack me. This is a very common, like, what do you want to call it? Like a kind of tackle. He'll like reposition, and it's a physical attack as well. Those are the real danger. I really think they are. He's got some powerful moves like that snipe explosion, or the flamethrower is pretty strong. The supernova is strong, but really it's the physical attacks that always get me. There's the supernova, by the way. We just ran away from it. Very easy. You have lots of time to get away from that. So there's not a good reason to die to that. There's the KO. We're going to get right by his head. Is it a KO? I don't think it's a KO. I think actually that was a regular knockdown. We must have just reached the damage threshold for getting a knockdown. Oh, we dodged it. Vitality Mantle is still active, which means it's going to absorb damage for us. That's the way it works. In case some of you watching may have actually forgotten how the Vitality Mantle works, because you haven't used it in so long. We have Rocksteady now, we have Fireproof, and we have the Temporal Mantle. Those would be the best mantles for this fight, by the way. So if you're using this budget build as a way to fight Arch-Tempered Teostra, but you happen to have Temporal and Fireproof Mantle, I would use those. Yeah, they're actually a better option here. Alright, so there's our knockdown. We just finished our Big Bang. Lots of damage there. Getting away from his little short flamethrower. He has like 2 different versions of the flamethrower. One's a big beam. The other one's kind of a burst. The burst isn't quite as dangerous. There's the tail whip. Trying to get over to his head here. Well, I use the charge brutal upswing a lot because it's just a very fast move. You can get in and out. It doesn't do the best damage though, and that's something you have to think about. Alright. And he's out of here. You can see he's limping now. That means he's hurt very badly. And we'll grab this dragon pod. I don't know why I did that. Took a shot at him just for fun. You will want to have something to be able to fire. Well, no, you're fine actually. You don't need it. So over here you'll notice there's a honey, and over here there is a flash bug. We got 2 of them. And why is that useful to us? Because we're going to do a little bit of crafting. First aid meds, that's like mega potions. And now we have flash pods as well. So we have our flash pods and we have our first aid meds. This is just an example of being able to take advantage of the things on the map. We're doing this really, again, to show players who have almost nothing in the game that they can actually defeat Arch-Tempered Teostra. You'd really be surprised. Alright. So when you go into your tent and come back out like that, you sharpen your weapon. Isn't that funny? Yeah, your weapon's sharp now. And that's why I did that. We grabbed another mite seed and a bitter bug. They respawned. We're going to go ahead and eat that mite seed. There it is. So we eat that and it'll give us a bit of a damage boost for bust. I can't talk. Buff for a while. You talk too long. You start mixing your words up. Okay, so that's that Mega Barrel Bomb I told you about. Again, you can make Mega Barrel Bombs with 2 Devil's Blight Mushrooms and 2 Large Barrel Bombs. You can buy the Large Barrel Bombs, but you'll actually have to go find the Devil's Blights. Alright. Put down the health booster a little bit ahead of time in case we need it. I got my charge, and now I'm going to use the Brutal Big Bang. I think it's called the Brutal Big Bang. Alright, that was a knockdown. Here's another Brutal Big Bang. Notice I'm very careful not to set up the Mega Barrel Bombs because I don't need to here. And what I want to do is just take full advantage of the knockdown I have on him. All right, there's his roar. Now I want to I want to break the barrels now because he's going to get away. He broke them for me. Perfect. So we got lots of damage on him, and this is where he's most dangerous, is in the final phase of the fight. He becomes very aggressive, and he reaches his supernova very quickly. That's his big finishing move. One of the tricks I've learned is if you just bring him over to this ledge, the fight's much easier because there's like no lava. You'll see there's like lava in the background shooting up out of the ground. That stuff's dangerous because it knocks you into, it does a little bit of damage, but more importantly, it knocks you into the air, and that's dangerous. But over here, you're perfectly safe. You have a ledge, so you can use your ledge attacks again, your aerial attacks. Hammers are very good with aerial attacks. It's one of the reasons I like them. All right, that's the tail whip. We're just going to run past or jump past it, or smack him in the head again. And something hit me from behind. I think there was an explosion of dust that I did not see earlier. All right, we're fine. We're fine. You got to be smart. You got to look where the dust is. You got to look where he's jumping, and just kind of walk around it. You know, you don't always focus on attacking. That's the trick. When I make mistakes, when I die, it's usually because I was focusing on attacking him when I should have been focusing on steering clear of the damage, steering clear of his attacks. So we're actually going to do a technique called ledge hopping. This is where you pull yourself back onto the ledge over and over. Actually, it looks like I'm failing it. Yeah, that's ledge hopping. And what I want to do is get an aerial attack. It's funny, though. He dies before I get the aerial attack. Lots of dust, lots of dust. Stay away from it. Stay away from it. Don't worry about doing damage to him until you're safe. Okay? Get safe first and then use an attack. Look at that. That still landed. It's amazing how much range the aerial on the hammers has. Alright, we smacked him in the head. Now watch this finishing move. You guys are going to be amazed by this finishing move. So I just charged the hammer. It's got the charge now. And look at this. Boom! Right out of the air. Excellent. So the fight did take a bit longer than it normally would, but I'm running with a lot of skills. I'm running without a lot of skills that I would normally have. Let's go ahead and jump over to taking a look at the build. I know you guys don't need to see me carving this Teostra. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual build. So we have, again, the Diablos hammer. This is very craftable. You can fight the Diablos over and over again until you get all the parts you need. Nergigante helmet beta, Kov Taroth Ire alpha, Kaiser Van Braces alpha, Basil Coil beta for the earplugs. You'll notice his roars weren't interrupting me. Teostra has really powerful roars, and when they interrupt you, you actually are at high risk of taking damage. Now, let's say you can't get the Basil Coil. Well, you could replace it with any number of coils. Maybe the Empress beta coil is good for Tool Specialist. Also, you would be able to trade out your charm slot, but I'll let you guys decide what you want to do there. You could go for any number of setups in the charm slot and the waist slot, but for me, I went earplugs. And then Death Stench Heal, which is giving us 2 more levels of handicraft. That just helps us hold on to our blue sharpness a little bit longer. If you don't have Death Stench Heal, try the Empress. The Lunastra beta legs are a good choice. And yeah, you can see all the skills listed on the side. And you can see all the decorations I chose. These were all small decorations. If you don't own these decorations, there are fast ways to farm these decorations. There's the event quest called Triple Threat Throwdown. This is where you fight the 3 lizards, and you can actually farm these guys up for the small decorations very quickly. There's also the Greatest Jagras event quest and the Names Lavasia event quest. All of these are terrific ways to get all of your decorations sooner. But yeah, these are actually not that rare in terms of decorations. So the majority of you should be able to finish these. If you can't, I would say the most important decorations here were Fortitude and Vitality. And then you can kind of skip the fire resistance. You can kind of get away without the extra level of Steadfast, but it's going to be more difficult. Alright, that's the whole solo budget build. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. I can make a solo budget build for each of the monsters in the game, each of the strong monsters in the game. It was kind of fun, actually, all the challenge. Alright, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.